Hey friends, I wanted to update you on where we are in the disaffiliation process from the United Methodist Church. You should know by now that that process is officially completed, which means that Park Avenue Church is an independent church at the present time, which means we own our own property. But we're at a place now where we need to consider joining the new traditional Methodist denomination. It's known as the Global Methodist Church. You'll remember that from the very beginning, we've been talking about this and watching the development of this new denomination. We believe that it most closely aligns with who we are as a congregation and as a body of believers. Well, your protocol study team and leadership here at Park Avenue have been looking at the options available to us, and we think this is the one that most closely aligns with who we are. So, the protocol study team has unanimously voted to recommend that we join the Global Methodist Church. So has your executive team. We met and made that same decision. Your staff also voted unanimously to join the Global Methodist Church, and certainly Jamie and I both fully support that idea. Just recently, the Administrative Council met to consider this option, and they also unanimously voted that we should join the Global Methodist Church. But before we have the final vote, we wanted to give you an opportunity to ask questions and learn a little bit more about the Global Methodist Church. So we've scheduled a church conference right here in the sanctuary on Sunday, July the 24th at 10 o'clock. And we hope you'll be here so that you can have your voice in this decision. Now, there are some questions maybe that you want to come to the meeting and ask. One of the questions we considered is this: why join now? Why don't we just wait and see how the Global Methodist Church shapes up, and then we can decide whether we want to join or not? In other words, what's the rush? Well, here's the answer that I think makes the most sense. God has called us from the very beginning to be a leader in this process. And by His grace and His care, that's what we have done for the last 2 years or more. God's calling us, we believe, to continue that leadership role as He guides us with the Global Methodist Church. By joining now, here's what we get to do. We get to lead. We also will have a voice in what it's going to look like ultimately. We'll get to be part of the conferences that are held to establish this denomination. The other thing is this: if we join the Global Methodist Church now and find out that we don't like it, then all we have to do is leave. In other words, there's no cost to get into the new denomination, and there's no penalty for leaving the denomination. There's no trust clause, and there's no disaffiliation fee that has to be paid. So if we get in and ultimately we don't like it, all we have to do is leave, and then we can decide what we want to do. But God's called us to be a leader, and we think we ought to step into that role once again. Now, to learn more about the Global Methodist Church, go to their website. It's globalmethodist.org, and you can find it online. We hope that you'll be here Sunday, July the 24th at 10 o'clock right here in the sanctuary. Hope to see you then.